Good music makes you think about the musician, what they're playing, how they're playing. But great music makes you think about yourself, what you want to do in life, your sense of possibility. And from a drumming standpoint, Steve Jordan plays great music because he sends you back into your own imagination. It makes you feel like the drums, his instrument, has no limits, no restrictions on its sense of possibility. What this instructional video is about is making you feel that there aren't any limitations in terms of your own talent, in terms of your own gifts. What's so great about Steve, who is easily one of the best drummers in the world, is that he transcends the instrument he uses to communicate. He's a painter with the drums, he's a poet with the drums, he's anything but a technician because he's learned the skills required to such an innate and instinctive degree that anything he feels he can play in the next moment. And hopefully through this video you'll get the same kind of inspirational sense of possibility about your own work, about your own music. And so when you play, you'll inspire other people to think about their sense of possibilities and what they could do with their music.
The drum's primary use was to send messages from village to village. I believe the drums are still used to communicate. I love the drums. You've got to have desire and devotion to play this instrument or any instrument well. Pushing yourself and sticking with it are key. If you love it, nothing can stop you. Stay loose and have fun. Here's a beat I developed similar to the one I played on Ramblin', which appears on David Sanborn's Up Front album. I love the drums and drumming so much that it seems like everything starts to resemble a drum. I don't know, that's just me, I don't know. Every great building has a strong foundation. When you're building a rhythm track, you provide the foundation. So the drummer has to be strong and has to be solid. Here's an example. On the Boz Scaggs album Dig, the song Call That Love was composed as follows. I played this beat, Boz dug it, then we jammed over it. I played bass, Cooch played guitar, David Paich played keys, and Boz sang. It's a simple but hypnotic beat. If a beat feels good, you can hear a song before any other instruments are even played. what do you feel is the most important thing a drummer has to contribute to a band? You know.
Well, hopefully, if everything is going right and the drummer can really, he's got to feel good and be on his toes, he can make everybody else play better than they usually play.
Right.
If he really gets a good hold of things and really transmits that feeling of making a joyous noise to everybody, he can help everybody play over their head. That's the whole thing, is to do better than we did last night.
Right, yeah.
Sound better, yeah.
Yeah.
This is a tune called Back in the Day I wrote with Danny Korchmar. This demonstrates one of my favorite grooves, the shuffle.
Remember, simplicity is not stupidity. Just because something sounds simple or it's easy to play in your mind doesn't mean that it's dumb. You know, if you just try laying in the pocket and playing a groove without even playing any fills, that's a little harder than you realize. You try doing it for yourself and you'll know what I'm talking about. Just lay it in the pocket, lay it in that groove. You try it. This is the drum and bass groove to a song Megan Voss and I wrote together entitled It's All Gone, which appears on Robert Cray's Grammy Award-winning release Take Your Shoes Off. The drums are a straight eighth, a la Al Jackson, and the bass bounces off of the drums dotted eighth style like James Jamerson. When drummers work on keeping time, they usually practice with a metronome. That's fine, except a key ingredient to the secret of timekeeping is overlooked. I didn't stumble upon it until I started playing the bass. I realized when drumming, you start the note, but you don't stop the note. Then I harkened back to my days as a timpanist and remembered, of course, you had to start and stop a note. You had to know the full length of a quarter note. That opened up a whole new world for me. With that in mind, I could feel the top side, middle, backside, or anywhere else in the quarter note's length. This is a major realization and one that can help you immensely. Bernie Worrell, also known as Dr. Wu, P-Funk legend, not only was the backbone of Parliament Funkadelic, but also worked as magic with Talking Heads and many others.
Playing with a click track is very challenging. The thing to do is to relax and to take on the challenge. There are some fascinating things that happen when you play with a click track. Once you know about the length of a quarter note, then you can learn how to play around the click track so that the music still feels good. A lot of the time when people play with a click track, they tend to be very stiff because they're trying to keep up with the click track. That's not the thing to do. You want to have the click track be your friend. It's not the enemy. When you're spot on with the click track, it gets really scary because you don't hear the click track at all. So that can be very frightening in itself. You're going, well, where is it? Well, you're so spot on that you actually obliterate it. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm going to demonstrate now playing at 120 beats per minute, and we'll play with the click track and see what happens. Using my Yamaha Smartwood custom drum kit, here are a bunch of grooves I've recorded. Let's start with a beat I developed for the title track from John Mellencamp's Cutting Heads album. This is a beat I played on the track with Sheryl Crow. This is something I did with ska and reggae king Ernest Ranglin.
Here's a groove I came up with for the title track on Robin Ford's Tiger Walk album. It's similar to the beat I played on the tune Snakes from David Sanborn's Upfront album. I came up with this for the tune Squids on the Brecker Brothers' Dayton album. I played this as an intro to Cliff Carter's tune Quack from the 24th Street Band's self-titled first album. Leroy Clouden, famed New York drummer, has played with Donald Fagen, the B-52s, and was the driving rhythm behind the Tony Award-winning Broadway smash hit musical Bringin' the Noise, Bringin' the Funk.
There are a lot of things you can do to make practicing more interesting. Leroy and I used to do a couple of nutty things when we were kids. I know to build up my left hand to get strength and endurance, I used to carry books in my left hand, iron clothes with my left hand, or just walk around with a stick and play 16th notes with my left hand as long as I could to build up strength and endurance. We used to play together as kids also, double drums, and we used to try a couple of wacky things. Leroy, why don't you tell them about one of the things we used to do?
Yeah, back when we were starting to learn how to play, I liked listening to Barry White, and I would listen to LPs at 33 1/3, then I would move it up to 45, and it would be twice the speed, and it would really strengthen your right hand to be able to play at that speed. Sometimes, your wrist would almost feel like it was going to fall off, but it was a lot of fun to be able to try and work on those kinds of fun exercises.
Using my 1963 Oyster Pearl Ludwig kit, here are some more grooves I've recorded. This is the beat I played on the Pretenders classic Don't Get Me Wrong. Tamiyo Okuda is one of my favorite artists in Japan. I played this on the title track of his album, Custom. I played this on a song Keith Richards and I wrote and recorded with the Expensive Winos called You Will But You Won't from the album Main Offender. Here's another little funky thing I just did. Let's hit it.
Of course, jazz music and rhythm and blues music are solely intertwined. I'm going to demonstrate how rock and roll came out of the swing era. You know, you used to be a big band, and you had your big band, and when the electric guitar came into play, of course, a lot of the horns were dismissed for the electric guitar. Same pulse, doom, 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 and you were swinging without the backbeat. Now the electric guitar comes in, and now that same beat, and there you have the inception of rock and roll, with the electric guitar playing off of the backbeat. It's still there. You have the straight eighths with the guitar, and you're swinging with the dotted eighth. So you got, and there you go. That was down in New Orleans they were doing that. And Earl Palmer played that with Little Richard. He was playing a swing thing against Richard's eighth notes. And the rest is history.
Levon Helm, founding member of the legendary group The Band. His drumming, mandolin playing, and singing have been an inspiration to countless musicians and fans worldwide.
You're a writer. How did that change the way you play the drums? When you started to play mandolin and started to play, and guitar and stuff, how did that change your drumming?
Well, the more instruments that you can play in the rhythm section, the more fun it is, number one. Just to switch chairs and move around, as you know, is more fun than anything. And then when you get back to your favorite seat, the drum seat, you know what you want the drummer to do for you.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah, that's the way I feel.
To play a little rhythm guitar and to play some bass and, whatever, then it makes you closer to the drummer.
Exactly, it definitely.
There's that other rhythm section conversation that should go on between the drummer, the bass player, the piano player, and the guitar player.
Right.
Sometimes the best way to comprehend and play a beat is to sing it. It sort of infiltrates your consciousness. Here's an example of a student wanting to play something he finds difficult. I have some other students sing it first, then it becomes more understandable. Check out the results. I don't like to categorize music, and I try not to play that way, but sometimes a musician needs a reference point. The more experience and knowledge you acquire, the less this is necessary. Here are some snippets of styles to chew on. First, the Mersey beat, the sound behind the British invasion. A little rockabilly. Some old school rock and roll. Bob Cranshaw, the master bassist and teacher, has covered the spectrum, from his landmark recordings with Sonny Rollins, Lee Morgan, and Milt Jackson, to his groundbreaking television work on the original Saturday Night Live, The Dick Cavett Show, and of course, Sesame Street.
The pocket is the groove, wherever the tempo is, to make it feel good. When I play, I want the music not only to sound good, but I want it to feel good. If it's not good to me, if it didn't feel good to me, I don't think it's going to feel good to somebody sitting in the audience listening or somebody dancing. It's got to feel good.
Listen to as much music as possible and see as much as you can. Go to live concerts and live club dates. Nothing can replace the experience of actually seeing and hearing musicians play live. Now we'll demonstrate a 12/8 feel on a tune called Soul 12 in the R&B style, but depending on the tempo and the tune, you can go anywhere with this groove.
I need somebody who's going to play the song. So whatever they play, it's got to be a good feel. It's got to be a good groove, and he's got to play the architecture of the song. In fact, all the great drummers are great song drummers.
Every song has its own life, has its own identity, and that's how I approach every song when I'm in the studio or if I'm playing live or whatever. And when I set up that sound, then I play a certain way. The sound definitely dictates how I play, and the song dictates how I play, and they go hand in hand. Danny Cooch Korchmar, legendary guitarist, writer, and producer, has worked with John Lennon, James Taylor, Don Henley, Jackson Browne, Neil Young, and Carole King. That's just scratching the surface.
everybody knows that you've revolutionized rhythm guitar, especially in rock and roll. You know, and that's a fact.
I'll go with that.
Yes, that's true. I want to know, what's the most important attribute you look for in a drummer?
What I look for in a drummer is never to look at him.
Right.
Because I know him there.
Right.
You know, to me, doing what I do is give me that beat, boy, and you know, and you know it's there. You don't have to think about it. Just rhythm's an amazing thing, you know.
One of my favorite things about playing with you is the stuff that we don't play. You know, like when that space, you know, like we're playing and then all of a sudden
canvas, man, silence and
right.
the canvas.
Yeah, the sweet silence. Yes.
And it's where you put, I mean, if you're a painter, right? I mean, there you got your canvas, you know, and you make a painting, you got to make a few daubs here and there, right? But most great painters never use the whole canvas. They use the canvas as the 3D, and the whole thing with sound, if you take, you know, from the visual to the audio, it's the same thing. Silence is our canvas.
Right.
And it's where you don't put stuff, which is just as important, if not more, than where you put it. I mean, what I've never liked to play with is busy drummers. Thankfully, I've got very lazy ones, and I'm spoiled. And maybe that's rock and roll.
Well, I hope we gave you enough to groove on and think about. Until next time, peace.
Thank you. That's how you use a drum machine. Man, wow, that's rough.
Maybe let's try to find just a pattern.